What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris, the Atari Creep. How's everyone doing today? You know, I was watching Dr. Wolf Yellow last night, and he did a ranking. Not a ranking, I should say. He did his list of Halloween movies in order in which he enjoys them. I guess you would call that a ranking, a tier. I consider this more a tier list, because you could put the movies in the same, you know what I mean? I'm not making this one higher than this one higher than that one. So please keep that in mind as well when we go through this. I figure, you know what? We did fucking Michael, we did Jason, we did your mom's panty drawer. Let's look at the Halloween series. And the reason I'm kind of hesitant to do this is because the majority of these movies can all go in D or even F tier. I'll be honest with you. If I put them in D tier, I'm going to consider that F tier. I don't know why people don't have an F in these. This is a pre-generated list. If you want to, do it on your own, I'll try to remember to put it down below. Let's stop fucking around. We'll start with the end. The end as it is so far. Halloween Ends, the third in the David Gordon Green trilogy. I like this movie just shy of a lot. I don't know. People can puke on the fact that Mikey wasn't part of the whole thing. And you know what? I think it's fitting that he decided to tell his own story with the third one, considering the original third trilogy went the way it did. But he still peppered in Mikey to make sure that some fan bases were somewhat satisfied. And here's the problem with fan base. No one's ever satisfied. And it's getting to a ridiculous cliche that, you give people exactly what they want, which is the same. They turn on you. You try to do something different, they fucking turn on you. So, good for him. I liked this movie for what it was, for what it represented. I liked it for the themes. It was fitting. I think it was fitting for a Halloween movie. I really do. Fuck the fact that Mikey wasn't in it. I mean, how many times do we need to see the fucking guy? It's about Halloween night and evil. It's about evil. Not just a dude. It's not called Michael Myers and the Halloween. Though I know a lot of fucks are going to disagree with me. Halloween Kills, I feel the same. I wish the whole mob mentality thing was toned down just a little bit. I mean, the concept of it is brilliant. Just because this one person comes to town, the entire town can be infected with this fucking madness. And it's like he's not just a physical being. He's not just the shape. He's not just killing people. He's on a weird level manipulating this entire town and not even fucking realizing it. And that's the best part about it. He's so oblivious. He just wants to come to town and fucking stick his knife in people. That's really it. I mean, he's like a really dumb dog with one fucking purpose in mind. He just wants to hump legs. In this case, Mikey just wants to, As far as the sequel's concerned to what we're going to get to here, the new the new part 2, which is still called Halloween, it's the third one. Okay, that's been done to death. As far as a sequel to that, it ramps it up just how I would like it. So many creative kills. The gore is awesome. That's really what it's all about. Watching these cats apply their trade. If you go into these things like porn and you're looking for a fucking story, then for the most part, you're going to be disappointed. But I think that with this trilogy, I think they did very, very well. I'm going to put Halloween, the third, in A tier. I thought it was really great. Yeah, it retreaded a lot of things. It rehashed a lot of it. I mean, what else can you do with a Halloween movie? I thought this was the first actual sequel since the second one. I might even like it better than that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. It's the first sequel to truly bring back the feeling of Michael Myers. I think Jude Courtney, whatever his name is, I think he did an amazing job as Michael, and I wish he could continue doing it. But I mean, there's only so much we can do with time and people's schedules and all kinds of crap. But I thought this new sequel to the original timeline, I should say, was fantastic. It gave me everything I wanted. It made Michael scary again. It made him mysterious. He actually looked like Michael Myers, unlike a lot of this garbage down here. I mean, this whole area here, I could just fucking get rid of it. I can't stand any of it. But there you go. Now we have the most recent trilogy. That's how I would rank them. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Oh, this is a tough one. I didn't think of this. You know, I didn't even think of the Rob Zombie ones. Those tend to get forgotten a lot, you know? In my head, anyway. I'm going to put this right here. Because he was reluctant to do it, from my understanding. I mean, if that's not the case, then I seem to remember a lot of interviews of him saying, no, I told the story. I'm done. I'm good. But something happened where the fucking Weinstein said, you know what, you got to make another one, bro. And he's like, all right. So he took it into a completely different territory. And though the execution was a Rob Zombie, you know what I mean? There was no redeeming qualities to the movie. It just, you know, and it's funny, Dr. Wolfield, watching him last night talking about the Halloween movies. He had said something about it was a soulless movie. I think he said that about this one. And I think I feel that way about it. It's like a soulless movie. It's mean-spirited as a whole. I don't mind some darkness in my movie and some mean-spiritedness, but the whole movie just seemed that way. And you can almost see it's almost like he's reflecting how he feels in the script of this movie because he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to fucking do it. So he said, fuck it, I'm doing it, I'm going to do it whatever I want. And I don't mind the imagery of the horse and the mother and all that stuff. It's new. It brings something new to the table. I thought it was an interesting idea. In execution, much like Halloween Kills, in some spots I should say, it just didn't pan out. But I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. I really don't. So that brings us to his entire... okay, so when I first saw Halloween, Rob Zombie's initial Halloween, I liked it. There was just something about the prequel side of things that I actually enjoyed. Did we need that? Not really. Does it make Michael Myers a little bit less? I suppose if you continue the timeline, yeah. If you just go back to the original movie, you can forget about these things. You know that, right? Just because it fucking happened in a separate movie doesn't necessarily mean it has to be canon in your fucking head when you go back to watch John Carpenter's original classic, you know? I don't understand that mentality either. This fucking ruined it for me. How the fuck did it? Just ignore it. You still have the others to enjoy. But I liked that aspect in itself. And if you just left it at that, actually, I thought that would have made a very interesting movie. Tone down the fucking angry hillbilly bullshit. You know, everyone's been saying that for, almost, 2 decades now, almost? Fuck, just tone that down, stretch out the prequel stuff. I think it could have worked. Now, I just thought Michael looked way off. He was just too fucking big. The mask was okay. It looked, and I can't remember the artist's name. The guy who did the effects work. Something Todd, I think. But the mask looked like him. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like adult Michael in that one. The guy did fine. I mean, it had nothing to do with the performance. It was just... Yeah, I don't know. The original... Rob Zombie's original Halloween is so fucking weird, this series. Is a mixed bag. It really is. I enjoy the prequel side of it. The rehash of... I mean, he literally just had to do that. He told his story and said, okay, now I got to give these fucks Halloween. And he did. And, the kills were okay. But it was a little too much. I'm not even going to talk much about this one. I fucking hate this one. There's no redeeming qualities to it. Michael looks like shit the whole fucking time. Done. Halloween H2O, I'm not a fan of either. I don't like it. It has that 90s, late 90s, early 2000s scream, polished teen kind of, ooh, it feels like bubblegum horror. Does that make sense to you? Don't get me wrong, I like Scream, and I enjoy H2O for what it is. A celebration of the 20th anniversary, and bring it back Laurie Strode, though, she changes her name and everything. I thought it was a neat idea. I don't know why they had to change to a son versus daughter, maybe just to establish. I know they were retconning a lot of things, but they didn't have to retcon everything. But I suppose at this point it wasn't really about the nostalgia. it was more about the celebration. So fan service wouldn't have been. Does that make sense? Also, it was more about the celebration than any nostalgia. So I don't think the callbacks and everything would have been as impactful in this one. So as a Halloween movie, it's okay. It's good. It's worth a watch once in a while. Maybe in the background while you're doing whatever. A good Netflix and chill kind of situation. I don't even want to talk about it. I really just don't even want to talk about it. Both edits. I can't stand either one. I hope I can't really see it that well, so I hope that's the sixth one. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. There's nothing I like about it. Halloween 5. I don't think it's very good at all, but it's a guilty pleasure. It's absolutely a guilty pleasure of mine. Moving on. Halloween 4. Halloween 4, I'm putting in the C territory now. I know a lot of you folks are going to be like, wait a minute. First of all, why are you putting them below Rob Zombie's? Well, because it was the same. And it had... See, when I look at slasher movies, I look at in certain timelines, pre-84 and then past 84. 84 is right around where these movies are starting to get a little bit more of a budget. So they started to look a little polished. And once all that started happening, I wasn't in it. The vibe wasn't there. The feel wasn't there. If you watch the first Halloween, the first couple, there's an early 80s, late 70s grittiness to it. And I know you can't maintain that, and I'm fine with that. I'm not saying that all movies should have continued that way. What I'm saying is once you lose that, you lose me. The first 3 Friday the 13th are a great example of that. Then you get into the fourth one, which has... That's when it starts transitioning from the gritty sleaziness of the Friday the 13th film. Because Friday the 13th is a sleazy series. It really is. Even though it's my favorite of all of them. It's just once you start polishing them, they just don't have the same feel. And that's where Halloween 4 suffers for me. I will say this about it, though. It is one of the only sequels, that feels more like Halloween than maybe even the original. I think the only thing about the original that makes me feel like Halloween is the music and not the main theme, believe it or not. I hear Laurie's theme and I hear the stalking dun 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 dun, ding 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 dun dun. That feels like Halloween to me. But Laurie's ba-dum-bum. That's Halloween 100%. So I will give Halloween 4 a little bit of credit. So technically I would have put it here if I was able to. But unfortunately the polishedness of it just makes me, it is what it is. So Halloween 3, the Season of the Witch. And I'm just going to come right out right now and be that guy. Yeah, we'll all think to this before everybody else was. And it's true. It's really true. I didn't care that Michael was in it. In fact, I didn't even look at it that way. I looked at it as another Halloween movie. The Season of the Witch title. Now, mind you, I was a little kid when it came out. I was a little kid when I was enjoying it. So there was a lot of this cynical adult stupid bullshit that most of you fucking look at these movies with. The lack of suspension of disbelief is also part of that. And, I don't know how else to say it, but I used to watch this one all the time, and it was one of my favorites. And for a while there, it was actually my favorite Halloween movie going. But I think a lot of it has more to do with Halloween 2 and 3 played a lot on local TV here, especially around the Halloween season. I don't remember the original movie playing a lot. So I didn't really get to experience John Carpenter's original movie, I think until VHS became, I was still around the same age I was enjoying these. But Halloween 2 and 3, and we'll get to Halloween 2 here in a second because it's going to be in kind of the same vein. I latched on to a lot more than the original Halloween. And in fact, if I were to do a ranking, I would actually put Halloween 2, the original sequel, probably number 2, Halloween 3 number 1, and the original Halloween after those. So I would say Halloween 3 would be my top Halloween movie. 2 following that. But that is only because of how I experienced them and not because of the quality of the filmmaking. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I don't think they're better films per se. But come on, Cochran, probably one of the greatest villains of all time. Him and Ian McDermott as the Emperor. I think them two should fucking get together and have a few beers because they just have such a hard on for being evil. And it shows, and it's fucking amazing. Halloween 2. More of the night he came home. First of all, that poster right there gives it to me. That does it for me right there. Halloween 2 is a fantastic follow-up. I know it overlooks the brilliance of the first one. It takes Michael Myers and brings him a little bit more forward, takes a little bit less of the mystery out of it. But if you really think about it, could you really go forward continuing with the same vibe of the shape? I don't think so. And I'm not talking just because at this point when they're making this, Slasher, Friday the 13th had come out already. So the blood and guts was the golden ticket, And I'm not talking about that. Yeah, absolutely they had to do that. There's just a vibe to it I remember as a kid. The seeing the blood dripping from the thing in the eyeball, the syringe in the eyeball. There was a feeling I got from that one I didn't get from the original one. But again, I got to experience it a lot more in my formidable years. But I don't think they could have continued the mysterious narrative. I think it could have started off that way and then slowly built up to him being more prevalent. I don't know. Because if you think about it, he was always in the first one, almost every scene for the most part. I mean, there's a handful. But if you really look, it's almost like a Where's Waldo. Michael's in the background in most of those shots. When you're dealing with the victims, whether they're on the phone or they're doing this. He's somewhere. And you get this overwhelming feeling of that. I don't think they could have continued with that. I really don't. I don't think it would have been as effective because it had already been done, So you're desensitized to it. So the natural progression would be ramp up the violence and tell a completely different story. Have fun with it. The first one was the film. This is the fun follow-up for the fans. That's the only way I can explain it. I know a lot of you are freaking out right now. I just had to do that for the thing. Absolutely, the original Halloween is going to go in S tier. It is one of the greatest films ever made. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to... people look at slashers and they think like Friday the 13th in the sleaziness of it. This was an actual film. It was a horror film. How do I say this? It was a film disguising itself as a horror film. Maybe that way. It was a legit thing from a legit guy. He wanted to make westerns and stuff, but he got stuck into this horror and he made the best of it. His use of the Panaglide and all that was revolutionary for a film of that budget at the time. I just think John Carpenter took what little he actually had to work with, and he did more with that than I think most directors do with a mid-range budget. Never mind your almost $1 billion budget. I mean, movies now hundreds of millions of dollars just to make it, and you come away with crap. This guy had $300 at the end, like $50,000 because he ended up having to pay for the original budget. I believe was $300, and then he got another 25 or 30 for Sam Lewis there. My fucking memory's horrible. It'll come to me. To have him on set. I mean, he was an A-lister star. I mean, he was a Bond villain for God's sakes. I keep wanting to say Sir Alec Guinness, but nope. Which is funny because Sir Alec Guinness worked with Peter Cushing, and Peter Cushing was one of the guys that was originally thought of to play Loomis. But yeah, I don't know. So there you go. There's my rankings of the Halloween movies. I personally... Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Please tell me I did that whole ranking. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Oh, I just switched screens. Oh my God. This is a complete shit show. I don't edit these type of videos out because the editor on my computer is a pain in the ass. It's easier just to do it in the phone and it's not compatible. But either way, guys, there's my rank of the Halloween movies. Whether you agree or not, that's neither here nor there. But leave yours down below. What are your top 3 Halloween movies? Are you okay with all the crap ones? I wish I had an F tier. I really do. But I feel like my rankings are pretty fair. I think it's very fair, given my experiences with these movies. And I suppose that's what it comes down to. It comes down to how we experience them. And if your experience is different than mine, then you're going to have a different, they could be similar in a lot of ways, But, yeah, we just need to learn to accept that. I accept it. You should too. Guys, thank you always so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. And until next time, take care. Creep it real. And bye-bye.